Final chapter. Da, 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 da. It's the final chapter. Final chapter. Oh, it's the final chapter of SU. So, SCU takes on the Young Bucks for the AEW World Tag Team Championships. And SCU had a stipulation that's been going on for a couple of months now that if they lose one more match, they're done. And they barely address Scorpio Sky and what he's doing because they did it on a podcast where they said, "Oh, they're still a group, even though they're not." And Scorpio Scott's kind of doing fuck with Ego Page, Age, and throwing people down stairways. And then you could make the argument, wait, why wasn't this a Double or Nothing? Like I get that, but also you gotta count that Moxley and Kingston are kind of fighting the Young Bucks, so they have to build up their wins. So yeah, this was a TV match instead of pay per view because if this is SCU's final match, then it should definitely have been saved for pay per view in my honest opinion. But yeah, SCU Christopher Daniels, Frankie Kazarian took on the Young Bucks for the AEW World Tag Team Championships, and the Young Bucks, who have regained their darkness and have joined Kenny Omega and Don Callis and the Good Brothers to reform Bullet Club USA. And also like to update their bios every single second of the day, saying that they're not on speaking terms with Cody, even though now they have basically disputed that. Why was that a thing? Anyways, I'm like, it's Jim Cornette. He hates AEW, but he has to use them to make profit. So yeah, we got a pretty damn good match, a perfect finale for Christopher Daniels. I did worry a little bit with the blading. Like I thought, did he cut too deep or is he selling? Because blood loss can cause disorientation, especially if you use a lot. But yeah, he managed to fulfill his end of the match and ended on a perfect term here. I feel, but yeah, this was a damn good tag team match. The Young Bucks SCU have so much history in their continuity with Ring of Honor. I'm a little disappointed the commentators didn't bring up Ring of Honor in their story career. In fact, I was wondering if they ever did vignette promos to like build up this chapter that it could be the end of the SCU group. Like I know they addressed it, but I would have loved promos and vignettes for this because this was a pretty big deal. And oh god, this was insane of a match. It was just up there for SCU. It was the capping off for their of Christopher Daniels' career. Most likely, they seem to indicate that is indeed his last match at this point in his career. And the Young Bucks and them went to war. The Young Bucks just being evil and conniving with the Good Brothers, and you actually did root. You wanted to root for SCU. You wanted to root for them because you don't want this team to end. You don't want them to end without them screaming at the audience, "This is the worst town I've ever been in." I even have a shirt saying that this says, "This is the worst year I've ever been in," to sum up 2020, and that was a good merch sale. So now the Young Bucks just take it to them. And then when they remove Christopher Daniels from the equation for about a couple of minutes, Frankie Kazarian is carrying the team. You want him to win, like you want him to win, and he almost looks like he's going to win at times. And oh god, we get to when a when Christopher Daniels gets there to stop the pinfall with the super kick pile driver running knee move. Uh, Daniel stumbles because he tries to go into that moonsault. Because now, okay, we can make the argument he botched, or one can make the argument that he was so disoriented that he couldn't concentrate because he's bleeding. But then he goes in and hits it again. But the tribalist will take a shot at it because I was like, at least he's not hurt. At least he's not injuring himself. He landed on his feet. But no, you got to go ahead and make a move to this. And then we get to what many say was the infamous moment of the match. Matt Jackson goes ahead, screams at Daniel, screaming out, "I'm sorry! I love you!" And super kicks him. And I was like, oh, fuck. Oh, fuck. It makes me want to see HBK versus the Young Bucks. I'll be honest, 2-on-1. Let's do it. But oh man, that pissed. Okay, so here's the thing about that. So I naturally don't care. I'm like, we still have the emotion of Ric Flair and Shawn Michaels. It's not ruined because the Young Bucks said that. I just laughed at the reaction a little bit. And I was like, I don't think the Young Bucks hate HBK and Ric Flair, so I'm like, I could be completely wrong. I don't know them as people. But they're just hilarious to me at times, especially when they overact. Like, yeah, I get it. Like, and Daniels hits, and after the super kick, Daniels kicks out, and then Daniels hits a surprising rock bottom, and then with a springboard, but ain't do it. Blood loss. He does it. Big best moonsault move. 1, 2, and nope. Daniels clotheslines Matt. He's doing his final stand. He hits Anderson with one after Anderson tries to get involved. Daniel turns. Cold spray in the eye. Super kick to super kick to Frankie Kazarian. Clocks Daniels with the can. They go for the BTE trigger and get the 1, 2, 3. Oh, man. That's it. SCU is done. Done. The Young Bucks have ended the reign of the SCU. And yeah, Moxley and Kingston after the match go backstage. They're pissed off that SCU is disbanded. Oh, and Frankie Kazarian does the Styles Clash. So wait, let me double check if that was Frankie Kazarian. Yeah, Styles Clash. That was awesome. Eddie Kingston and John Moxley go backstage, ransack the Elite's locker room, and man, it was pretty damn like the commentators pointed out that they're probably heated because of how the Young Bucks won. And Daniels and Kazarian hug it out, knowing that this is the end. And apparently Scorpio Sky was told, do you want to go out there? And he said, no, let them have their moment. Like, as much as I'm part of SCU, this is Daniels' moment, because they do seem to indicate, especially Daniels on Twitter, seems to indicate that this is it, the last match of his career. And this is a pretty damn good way to go out. Fighting, bleeding for the final title run. And he goes out on his back. He goes out, puts over the Young Bucks as the most arrogant sons of bitches in the wrestling industry. And yeah. Then the Young Bucks go backstage with Don Callis and the Good Brothers and cut a promo on Eddie Kingston and John Moxley, indicating that, yeah, they're going to fight at Double or Nothing for the titles. Should be a pretty damn good match. Hope it's no DQ, or if the brothers want to get involved, then we should call Sami Callihan the Death Machine. Let's Raw. But that's neither here nor there. So the SCU, the end of SCU is here. Would it have been interesting if Scorpio Sky came out? Yeah, but he's a heel, so they kind of can, and they never really addressed it on TV. They addressed it on a podcast, which is part of the AEW continuity, but, they don't address it on TV. which was disappointing that they didn't address it on TV. It's like I said this in my retrospective. Like, I admire that AEW wants to trust its fans with the continuity. Um, but it's kind of annoying because at times because it's like not everyone watches BTE, not everyone watches Dark, not everyone watches Dynamite. Right, no, not everybody watches Elevation. So, yeah, like if they watch Dynamite consistently, then they'll be lost still a little bit. But if the commentators point that out or, do promos for these big hype matches, then fine. But yeah, I love that SCU got to go out on this big matchup. It was fun, and I love how they got pissed over the blood on their shoes. Oh no, my shoes! This is the worst thing that ever happened to me. Oh, they're us losing Christopher Daniels' career, probably. So, yeah, the end of SCU. It was a great, great run for many, and they had a lot of fun together. This is the worst town I've ever been in. And I was kind of hoping at the end, after they hugged it out, Scorpio Sky would probably come out and they would cut one more promo together as a group or after show and just cut a big scathing promo on the Young Bucks and the Elite and just jokingly, but tribalists would have taken it seriously to the extreme, say, "This is the worst promotion we ever been in." Just take a shot at the tribalists who demonize everything AEW does. Like, I know I don't like WWE management mostly. I have no problem with the wrestlers unless they're horrible people. Or they're just not wanting to account for their actions. Yeah, I'm still annoyed by that at times. But yeah. But I don't but like it's just hilarious, especially how Cody gets so much hatred to the point that they think he's the wrestling devil, and I'm like, what did he do? Did he kick a puppy? I'm like, okay, he scared one dog, but that was an accident. He apologized and he said he would never do it again, so then he hasn't done it since, so you can't use that reasoning. But okay, fine. So yeah, it was a pretty solid finale for the SCU group. It was a solid finale for probably Christopher Daniels' career. Frankie Kazarian is now probably a singles wrestler, but don't worry, he'll probably go with a group because AEW is built on factional warfare. But now, the supreme power of AEW, charted up in territories, because this is faction warfare. Now, SCU is out, which leaves the Elite, the Dark Order, and the Inner Circle, and the Pinnacle. There's only 4 major factions left. SCU is done, and Moxley and Kingston are still trying to gather up territory. Oh, there's also Matt Hardy's family, but they kind of forgot about that a little bit. I think they're on Dark and Dark Elevation. But yeah, we got 4 major power factions, and the 5th one that's on the side taking over Dark and Dark Elevation. SCU is gone. It's going to be hard missing them. I don't know if Christopher Daniels is done, but they do indicate on Twitter a lot that he seems to be done. And Frankie Kazarian and Scorpio Sky are on their own. Scorpio Sky's tag team with Ethan Page. Maybe Frankie Kazarian will team up with them since he did tease a heel turn, so to speak, when he brought up with Christian Cage. So we'll have to see. So, this was Neo Reality Entertainment, the WrestleVerse, presenting the Young Bucks versus SCU, the final chapter. Da, 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 da. The final chapter, whoa. It's the final chapter. Okay, enough of me singing and trying to be terrible at it. Okay, everyone. Feel free to like, comment, subscribe. Check out my other content in the description below. Stay tuned for more, and I'll see you next time. And too sweet me, baby!